Okay, now let's talk about trend change. So what is a trend change? Trend change is basically when price moves from being bearish to being what, bullish, or when price move from being a downtrend to being an uptrend. Okay, or let's say when price moves from being an uptrend to being a downtrend, or from being um, bullish to being what, bearish. So that is basically it. I just switched it the opposite way. Okay, so market structure actually has ways of letting you know that it has actually switched price structure. Though sometimes it can seem very awkward and very difficult to understand what price is saying or what price is trying to tell you, because you want to be sure of what you are looking at, right? So when you look at the higher time frame narrative, you always want to see price giving you higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher low, highs, higher lows, or maybe the other way around. Okay, whether an uptrend or in a downtrend. But in this case, I'm using an uptrend as an example. I don't know why I like this, but I think this is what is most efficient for me, right? So before price actually tells you that I am going to the downtrend, you have to actually see what has price done. Has it broken the higher low? If it has broken the higher low, meaning price has done what, changed structure. So hence the next thing you are looking for is price to give you what, a lower high, right? Now a lower high will start and then a lower low. Now after that, this particular one is now called a lower low, and this tends to be what, a higher high, a lower high. But in the first place, this is a higher high because it is that higher high that broke structure to now turn into a protected high, in the sense that price, it means that price is not going to actually come and hit this particular one. Now you are protected to put your money around this area. So that is where the banks are always looking at to put their money, right? That is why we are supposed to follow the money and know where the money is, right? So now that price has changed structure, telling you that it is going to the downtrend, you need to also follow it the way it is, right? And now start depicting your entry points and other stuff. But what I just wanted to wanted you to understand is, oh, price has changed to the downtrend, price has changed to the uptrend, or whatsoever that you just wanted to see from the higher time frame narrative. Let me let you understand something from the higher time in from the higher time in from the higher time frame narrative. You are supposed to understand that trend is structure. So when you are actually coming to look for structure points, go to the higher time frame narrative, and then dive into the lower time, the what they call it, the lower time frame narrative. If you have a POI, look for that potential points to see where price actually were to stop and go back to the upside, right? So that is basically what we're actually looking at in this particular structure. So um in this case, I have just labeled this particular stuff down. So we have a higher 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 low, higher 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 low. So you can see this particular higher low was actually the last point where this price, last point to create this particular higher high, and hence this higher high took the initiative to break this particular structure, creating a new lower low. Hence the lower low now was what created this particular new lower high. Now it continued like that until this particular place also took structure a strong sense, saying that I'm actually going to be in control. It now started to create a lower low was created from here after it broke this particular lower high, saying that I'm now strong and now become to give you what I want, a higher high, and now the higher high created a lower low, and in that manner. So a trend change is basically where when price switches from being bearish or being bullish to being bearish, or bearish to being bullish. Okay, so let's see in an example, right? Price is going in an uptrend. Okay, you are saying that price is going to be breaking the higher highs instead of the lower lows, right? So price is supposed to be breaking the higher high instead of the lower lows in an uptrend. But in this case, you are looking at price to break the higher high, but instead of breaking the higher high, it broke the higher low. Now, if it breaks the lower low, you are supposed to understand that price is now have now changed its trend and it's now what, going to the downside. This is where everything comes in to now let you know that price has changed its structure. So the trend has changed, so you shouldn't be looking for buys anymore, you should now be looking for sales, right? So in the swing point, you can be able to look for any your entry at any point, and then you take your structure, because you know your let me see, your wallet can hold it, then it goes to the direction that you're actually anticipating to go, right? So this one becomes protected when there is a break of structure of is low, right? Let's say you are um let's put it this way. You have children now, right? And your one of your children has been able to conquer, let me say, your enemy. So when your children has conquered your enemy, the one you were afraid of, right, you become secure. You become, well, if you used to be afraid of him, now you become strong enough to be like, oh no, my child can handle it, my child can handle it, because you are not able to overcome your enemy, but your child has been able to overcome your enemy. So this is how it is. In the forex market, there is a battle between the bulls and the bears. It is fighting among who is going to win. Why is this happening? Because currencies are fighting against each other. Countries are coming against each other, saying that I want my currency to be strong. This country will be like, I want my currency to be strong. It's not just the currency, but I want my economy, right? They're saying I want my economy to be strong. I want my economy to be strong. And for your economy to be strong, you have to make sure that, and for your currency to be strong, you have to make sure what your currency is what strong. So every country is trying to put in place ways and means to make sure their current their economy is strong enough to handle the other let me say currency, right? In a sense that they don't fall into traps or pit bulls as to areas where prices actually like whatsoever or in any ways, right? There for them to be a very poor economy, right? So a poor economy leads to a currency being not strong, and hence the other currency is able to ride it. If it is the base currency, it becomes to be in a bullish trend. If it is a quote currency, it becomes to be what in a bearish trend. Okay, so that is actually how it is, right? So price structure actually plays a very strong role in this particular price structure. You need to understand. So these lines are basically depicting the downtrend, okay, and this one actually depicting an uptrend. Okay, so in between this one is actually the downtrend, and all this is now the uptrend, right? So you can see price moved to the upside, pulled back, and now started in another wave again. So that is how it moves. And you can see when it started breaking structures off of this place, and this was where price broke structure. So make sure price closes below, right? Always make sure price closes below, and not with a candle body, a wick, but a candle body, right? I've explained this several times in most of my videos and most of my live sessions with you guys, and I want you to understand that make sure the candle always break below with a candle body, right? Not break above with a candle wick or whatsoever. Don't make that mistake, because the candle wick can actually turn into liquidity and wake you out, and you don't know where you are going. You tend to be pissed off and other stuff, right? So that is basically how price looks like. Okay, so I think right now let's move to the real chart for me to explain to you how price changes in structure. All right. Okay, so let's break this stuff. Where is my, okay, right here. Where do I pick this from? um okay, so there is a whole lot of areas that I can pick from. Let me just pick from here, right? This is very simple. So let's move to the 1 hour time frame so that you can see this clearly and other stuff. So now when you look at this particular structure right here, price is creating higher highs and lower lows and lower highs, right? So price came to the downside, created a high, a low, a high. Then this high was not strong and this low was not strong. So let's just say this is a high and the new low hasn't been created. So hence we are now waiting for the new low. Okay. So and the new low hasn't been created. So let's wait for the new low. All right, so the new low has now been created because this one has been broken. That's close below the structure point right here. So the next thing we are wanting is to see price breaking above. Okay, or let's focus on the lower time frame structure. So you can see price on an intraday, price created a low, a high, a low, a high, then a lower low, right? So this lower low has been taken. So now for you to be able to identify, or let me say prove that this particular one is going to go to the upside, you have to now wait and see price breaking this particular low here, turning it into a bullish structure, and now start creating higher highs and higher lows just that same way until price breaks structure and then continues to the downside. That is why we are always looking at. So this pattern will continue to exist forever, right? Forever, no matter the years or whatsoever. This pattern is going to forever going to let me see. So as I just mentioned, you can see how price has started to create a higher high and a higher low. Okay, price came out breaking the structure and continued the trend to the upside, right? So you can just see how price is moving. Okay, now it has broken officially, now giving us that we are in a strong bullish trend. So hence we should be looking for buys. Okay, so in this case I can see how price has started breaking structure, okay, started to kind of make this, and in this case for you to see if this particular place is bullish, bearish, you need to wait for a break of structure, right? So that is actually what we are always looking for. So price breaks to the upside in this case, created a low, this is a low, a high, and this low has also started creating because I think it has just barely broken structure, right? You always want to see the break of structure. You want to see the break of structure very clearly. Okay, just see it very clearly, though it is not, you don't have to wait for picture perfect. Okay, so this was a high and a low created here because this low has broken the structure, and we are looking for a new, so this becomes our high because there is a pullback. Okay, until the low is taken we are in a bullish trend. Okay, until the low is taken, so now we are waiting for this low to be taken and we confirm that we are in a downtrend. That is basically what you are looking for. Okay, now price has broken the structure. We are in a downtrend, so we are waiting for a pullback for price to continue to the downside. And basically, that is what is actually going to happen. You can see how price created a pullback and then created a high. So this can basically break structure and continue to the downside. That is basically what we're looking for, right? So price doesn't just behave anyhow. Price moves in structures, right? Just as I mentioned in the previous episodes, I said price moves in structures, and you're supposed to understand what you're looking for. Make sure you have price structure of your structure brick and your structure mapping. Know how to the price structure bricks for you, and know how to identify price structures. Don't come to the lower time frame and be identify these ones as trends. Okay, these are just intraday structures, and it doesn't make any sense. If these were trends, okay, and probably this ones wouldn't have been valid. I will consider it valid when this is broken. I would have considered it valid if these ones are broken. If these ones are broken on a lower time frame like this, I don't really care, because it doesn't actually mean it is a structure. So in this case, now you have your break of structure, your low, your break of structure, your low, your break of structure, your low. Sorry for the messy chats. My network are trying to interrupt me in the game. So yes, that is basically how it actually happens. That is how it works. So let's know that price moves in waves, price moves in flames. Sorry, I was rapping. I just want to summarize everything quickly, because I have other videos I have to create for you guys. Okay, now that this particular price structure has been arranged, you might wonder how I'm recreating this after I've recreated other videos. Okay, I'm recreating this because this is the essence that this is what you need to actually succeed in the forex market. Okay, it might not be picture perfect, but you have to actually dive down into the lower time into the charts yourself. Backtesting is the essential thing you need, right? So if you don't have a laptop, I urge you to get one, and try your best to. Also, if you don't have and you don't have any money to get one, I urge you to also try your possible best to know what to you know to get to make use of what you have in hand, right? Because it is what is going to help you, right? That's what is actually going to help you in this market. That is actually what we all look for, and it is very important. Make sure you use. I possibly was borrowing computers up and down, okay, until I got my own, and yeah, it hasn't been a free world for me, but I think this is crazy. Okay, all right. So thank you for joining this episode, and I'll see you in my next episode. Peace out.